We're all here to know about play therapy for children with special needs. And why are we talking about COVID-19 and beyond? Because COVID-19 made us all stay at home, and after that, there are many issues which you will be seeing in children, and we will be learning how to go through that. Okay, so there are comments coming. Play therapy. Yes. Okay. So I cannot see your comments when I'm screen sharing. So in between, you can unmute and answer. All right. So that is a small technical challenge there. Yeah. So we're all here play. Okay. So I've got some really fun. What is this called? Okay. So I wanted to show you this. Yeah. Okay, so this is some really fun confetti which I was able to put into the webinar today. Okay, so now all those of you who are ready to go ahead and play today, please say one. Please say one. Unmute yourself. Yes. All right. All right. Good. 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 So many of you. One. Awesome. 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 There's more and more participation. Two. What is two? One. Who is not ready to play? All right. One. 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 Yes. Good. 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 Great. Okay. So now, how many of you really love to play? Do you like playing? Say number three.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Say number three. If you like playing, say three. Three. Somebody say it very loudly. Awesome. Oh, very good. Okay, because you really love to play. And you know, everybody loves to play, right? Everybody loves playing. Kids love playing. Even adults, they say, you know, even for this session today, I had so many people asking me, is it only for kids? Do only kids like to play?
Where's Amma?
Do only kids like to play? No. We all love playing. Yes, we all love to play. Yes, very true, very true. Play is for everybody. Okay, so let's have a drum roll for that. Okay. That says that play is for everybody and we are in it together. Okay, so we are going to talk about what is play therapy and so on. So let's just move on. I'll tell you, this is what is the content of today's session. We are going to be talking about what are the therapeutic benefits of play, what are the principles of play therapy, what are the different types of play therapy, and how it can be play therapy can be applied in a home-based setting and in a school-based setting. Okay, because we have parents and educators here, so we are combining. I'm going to give you just a brief outline into all these areas during today's session. Okay, I request, yeah, please. Okay, in between there is some disruptions. That's right. All right. So are you ready for this now? Oh yes. Let me hear you. Those of you who are ready, say, oh, yes. I can't hear anybody. Nobody is ready for today.
Oh, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
see, you have to remember when you want to play with kids, you have to be very, very dramatic. You have to use different expressions, use your pitch high and low, play, sound loud, make noises. That's when you get the attention of children, and that's when children like to interact with you and play with you. Okay, so play is all about a lot of dramatics. So you have to act it out. You can't just be quiet and say, no, I'll just play with the toy on the side. No. When you're doing play therapy, when you are doing play with children, you have to be very, 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 very dramatic. So different ways, like if you say jump, if you agree with me, shout out if you agree with me, come and give me a high five. Those are very, very good ways to interact with kids and make them come forward and play with you. Okay, so a little bit about me now. Okay, so some of you were asking my name. Yeah, so my name is Aishwarya. My name is Aishwarya Sezhian, and I've done my master's in special education and also my master's in social work. Please mute yourself. So those of you who have, yeah, some of you, please mute. Is there some disturbance in the sound?
Ma'am, actually you can mute, ma'am. We can do it. It is better.
Okay, 1 minute, 1 minute. Because I'm not able to see everybody when I'm screen sharing. That is the difficulty I'm facing. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you.
yes. So we'll just go back to this.
Yes.
All right. All right. So I was just giving you a small introduction about myself. I've done my master's in special education. I've also done my master's in social work, and I combine all the knowledge that I have with the children I work with. Okay. I'm also a certified play and drama therapist for special needs. So I've been working in this field for over 10 years now. I work independently because I have started fun learning. I work with other special educators. I work with other therapists and well-wishers for children with special needs because they come forward and they give a lot of value-based sessions for parents and children. I also lecture in various colleges as an assistant professor, and I deal with subjects related to philosophy and psychology for children with special needs. Okay. So apart from this, I've also completed an online course for teaching children with deaf blindness. Primarily, however, my area is children with intellectual disability. Okay, so as Fun Learning, what we do is also mentioned here. We provide online special education services to families across the globe. We started with children here in remote places where special education services is not easily available. And now we have slowly moved on to reaching across clients and families across the globe. So they all approach us and we are giving them one-to-one sessions at present. Okay, so we also initiate parent-led home programs for children who find it difficult to sit for an entire online session. We do support them with parent-led home programs, and of course there is parent and professional enrichment programs like this one that we are in right now. Okay, so first thing first, we are talking about play. So tell me, what is play? What is
Any
play?
physical activity,
Okay, it is a
any
physical
physical or
activity.
mental activity also I can say as puzzles.
Okay, that is also there. What else? What else? What is play? Everybody loves to play. Everybody wants to play here. So what
A
is
fun
play? Tell me.
activity. A
Any
fun
Fun.
activity.
That is so true. Play is so much fun. It's very true. Very true. Play is so much fun. Yes. Then what else? What else? Are you typing? Okay, 1 second. Huh?
stress
I
reliever
got it.
I can
It
say.
is fun, recreation, leisure.
It's a stress reliever basically.
It
I
is
can say.
stress relieving. Very true. Very true. Okay, so I will just try to oops. 1 second.
Any activity which you engage happily and it gives you, as ma'am said, fun and happiness.
Yes. Okay, 1 second. I'll just try to share this screen with you.
Play is a developmental activity which provides immense pleasure to the child.
Very true. Very true. So you can see my screen now? Yes? Play is a fun activity. Yes. Is my screen visible?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
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 it
yes.
is.
yes. Okay, okay. So many comments here. Any activity which a child enjoys is play. Yes, and many of you have participated. Also, you are telling me different things which you feel is play, and nobody is wrong, right? Everybody is right. Play is fun. Play is interactive. Play can consist of physical activities, mental activities. There is so many things. Okay, that play is all about, and play is not limited to children. Okay, many people say that play is for children. Yes, it is a work of children, but everybody enjoys play. Okay, and also when we talk about play, play are activities, which you enjoy. So there is self-amusement in an activity. It may be amusement in terms of physical, behavioral, social. It is something that happens from within you. You will really enjoy what you do. It is spontaneous, and you cannot what can I say that play has a single characteristic. Okay, it is often a constellation of various characteristics, a lot of activities together which motivate children to play. All right, so this is what play is for us, and just an outline of what play is for children also. So as play, like some of you were saying that play has many, many benefits, right? So can you please mute those of you who are speaking? All right.
Excuse me, ma'am, can you explain in Hindi also?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Session will be in English. Yeah, the session was in English.
Okay, okay, ma'am.
In Hindi, sorry. Okay. So now let's talk about what is the function of play. So we say that, okay, play is something which is self-spontaneous, which is going to have a lot of advantages. It may not be goal-oriented, right? You might be aiming at something, but through play, you actually get a lot of benefits. So it doesn't have a single characteristic. It's a constellation of many, many things. But play in itself has many functions, okay? There are physical functions which we find play can benefit in terms of, let's say, cycling, running, jumping, throwing, kicking the ball. These are the physical benefits related to play. We talk about social emotional benefits, like children learn to cope with different situations when they negotiate, when they discuss, when they share, when they wait, when they lose a game, when they win a game. These are different social emotional issues which children learn. There is cognition involved in play. We remember, we think, we problem solve when not just activities like puzzles, but even if you talk about just putting a ball into a basket, the child is mentally creating an image in the mind before doing that. So there is a lot of cognitive activities involved. And play in itself also helps in moral development. Okay, when we see, when you play, we say things like don't cheat. So what we're actually teaching children is what is acceptable behavior and what is not. Okay. Sorry, somebody has to mute. Okay. All right. All right. So these are the different things that we generally teach children through play. So now we're talking about play. So anybody, what is play therapy then? Can anybody think and tell me what is play therapy? So we've talked about play. This is what play is. These are what the advantages of play is. But what is play therapy then?
Like basically maybe making them sit in one place, especially for ADHD, it is useful. Where they can't sit, through play they can sit, we can make them sit and do something.
Okay, so that you think that play therapy is a structured program where you will be giving an instruction and the child will sit and follow. Okay, to pay
Yes,
attention. All right. What else? Anybody else has any views on what you think play therapy is?
Play therapy is healing.
If we use play for the purpose of therapy, then it's the play therapy.
Okay, what is that therapy? If you use play for therapy, it is play. What therapy you're saying? Like, what is the goal in that therapy?
It is healing.
Goal for for improving the attention, for improving the concentration, and for participating in the peer relations.
Okay, good, yes. Anybody else?
And even behavior. It also yes.
Yes. Okay. See, therapeutic play means that unlike regular play, it is a form of psychotherapy where we are actually trying to meet the physical or psychological needs of a child. Okay, that is what play therapy is. So like this gentleman had said that, we are trying to do therapy through play, which means that your therapy may be physical or psychological in nature, which you are aiming at development in the child. And yes, you are using play as a medium. Okay. Now, what we say that play is play is in terms also, play therapy, we call it in some ways, we say that it is experimental in nature because through play therapy, we believe that the child has the ability to solve his or her own problems in the context of a warm and caring therapeutic environment. So, through play, we are actually allowing the children to solve their own issues. So, if they are having a psychological issue, or they're having anxiety, they're having depression, they may be able to solve the issue themselves through play. Okay, this is what they say play therapy is. They also say that play therapy is, very, what can I say? Like play is, they say, the language of children. So a child who might be finding it difficult to express himself, if he's going through any issues, he might not be able to come out and talk about it, but he may be able to play and resolve his own issue because through play, the child is able to overcome the issue which the child has. So broadly, when we talk about play therapy, we can say that there are three therapeutic benefits when we look at play therapy. One is energy releasing. Okay, So if the child is having issues where the child just needs to release energy, you can give activities, say like punching, running, shouting. These kind of things help in children to reduce anxiety. So these are energy releasing play. Then there is dramatic activities where children will be asked to act out a certain situation. These also help in anxiety and emotional issues to reduce stress. Okay, there may be children who like to use dramatic activities like in the form of toys or dolls, or even they will do role play. They will act like something happened to them. So some children enjoy that sort of play therapy. Okay, so there is energy releasing, there is dramatic, and there is also creative play therapy. Creative play therapy is where you just give the children, say, paper and colors, and they are going to draw out what they feel. Uh, some children may feel anxious, or they may have different social emotional issues which they really don't know how to express. But sometimes when they express it through artwork also in a playful environment, they feel safe and secure, and they feel that they are reassured, and they are not alone. So that is what play therapy does. It helps children get through the situation, to find solutions, to talk about what their real problem is. Okay. Now, again, I want to say that play is not just for children, it can be for adults as well. So, if we understand what the issue is and where to help the child, we can definitely go forward from there. So, let's talk about the therapeutic benefits of play. All right, we will have to take a short break after that. So, therapeutic benefits of play. We all know that play is going to help children in different areas. So when I say about physical and psychological areas of need, we talk about physical in terms of fine and gross motor. We say social communication can be developed through play because children try to communicate better, talk about their feelings, even just express language and words. Okay, so that communication really, really develops through play. Also in terms of behavior modification, because they learn what is acceptable behavior, like we were talking about moral development and different types of benefits of play itself. All those benefits are also seen in play therapy. And more than anything, because play therapy strongly believes in developing the relationship between the caretaker or the therapist or the parent with the child, it builds a very strong relationship. Okay, so that is the significance of play is about building that relationship with the child and the caretaker, or the child and the therapist. It is a safe and nurturing environment where the child is not judged, but the child is allowed to express themselves freely. Okay, so that is the biggest advantage of play therapy. It is about building the relationship, and also above all, play is just a lot of fun, right? Everybody enjoys play. It's not like, oh, I'm going for a class, I have homework. It's not like that. Children really, really enjoy coming for a play therapy session. Okay. Now, briefly, I'm going to talk about what are the key principles of play therapy. Okay, so now if you are a play therapist, if you're talking about how you can go forward with a play therapy session, first thing is you have to develop the potential of the child, and you have to believe that the child can learn. So all of us here are looking at working with children with special needs. So there are areas of need, there are areas where we want the child to develop. So we have to believe in that, believe in the potential of the child, work from the developmental stage of the child and go forward. Okay. Generally in play therapy, we say that the child leads and we follow, but it may not always be the case in children with special needs. Sometimes we also show them the way to play in a structured setting. So that also works in a play therapy session. So if it is a child who's having anxiety issues or stress issues, yes,
Ma'am,
yes.
as a therapy, how we can use play? That means it should not be a normal play, right? So how we can plan that kind of play so we can use is as a therapy?
You have to structure the play program for the child depending on the child's need. Okay, so if a child comes to you and if a child is a, let's say an issue where the child doesn't know how to play, you have to understand first. You have to observe the child, you have to assess the child, Then you have to see which developmental
Can you
stage the child is at,
give us some examples, ma'am?
and then take forward. Okay, we'll do that. I will give you an example. Right now I'm just talking about the principles, okay? But I will give you an example and show you how you can go through that. So right now we're talking about the basic principles in a play therapy session. You have to be very kind, polite, caring. Okay, why I'm saying all this is because in a play therapy session, you allow the child to take charge. You don't go about saying things like, no, you cannot do this, sit here, you have to listen to me. That doesn't happen in a play therapy session. In a play therapy session, you have a space where the child feels safe and the child feels that he can express himself. He has to be very, very comfortable with you so that he can express himself, select toys, understand how to play. Okay. And also play therapy encourages children to go at their own pace. It's not that this session, this has to be done. You have to complete a portion. It's not like that. You allow children to go at their own pace. Okay. Now, many children will be struggling with emotion. Many children will not be able to understand social communication, even social skills. So when you do this play therapy session by session and you go with children, you explain how this happens, you will see that the children begin to trust you. They are with you and they follow whatever you do. It's only because of that strong, strong relationship which you are building with the child. This is the biggest advantage of therapy. It builds the connection, builds the relationship between the therapist and the child. Okay. So we were talking about what are the key principles of play therapy. Okay, and we are moving forward now to the next slide. We're talking about the types of play therapy. Okay, in general, when you look at play therapy, there are two types. It is either directive play or non-directive play therapy. Okay, a non-directive play therapy, we say is child-centered, where the child leads and we follow. Okay, so broadly, this is very broad term for play therapy. We say directive and non-directive. So obviously, when we say non-directive, is the child-centered. So the child is going to lead. So what can directive play therapy mean? Anybody can unmute and answer. What do you think directive play therapy will mean? Non-directive means the child is leading. You are following. So what can directive mean? What can directive play therapy mean?
When you lead, when you tell the child how to
Yes.
play and what to play.
Yes. Yes.
When we
So
are
that is,
active.
you are what who's going to set the stage. You're going to say, let's play this today. Come, let's do this today. We are going to play like this. This is the game. This is how it's going to be. Okay, that is directive play. So this is the major difference between the two types of play. Okay, there is directive and there is non-directive play. We will talk about each of them and also we'll see what would be most beneficial for children with special needs. Okay. So first let's talk about non-directive play, okay, which we say child-centered. So most of the things when we talk about working with young children, we say that, it should be child-centered, allow the child to come forward, express themselves. Even things like the Montessori method of teaching, we say where we should allow the children to come forward. So in such an environment, in such a case, when you want the child to come forward with their own, what can I say, way of being, what you should do is make sure that your environment is not controlling. So the therapy session has to have a less controlling session. You allow the child to engage in whatever play activity the child enjoys and expresses themselves in whichever way they want to, with very limited interference in a non-directive play session. Okay, this is what happens in a non-directive play session. You allow the child to express himself, allow the child to pick up what they want. I'll give you an example. Like now, if I have a play therapy session and a child is coming to my room, I would just leave a few toys on the floor or on the table, and I allow the child to go and do whatever they like. So if the child wants to go first to the blocks, the child plays the blocks. If the child wants to go and do painting, the child goes and does painting. So I am non-directive there. I'm allowing the child to just do whatever they like. If they're going to sit and paint for the entire session, that is also okay. If the child is going to sit and just play drums for the entire session, that is also okay. So that is a non-directive play session because I'm leaving it completely to the child and very less interference. I'm not really going to say that this is what has to be done. I'm allowing the child to pick up where they want to feel most comfortable, what they want to express that day, the child is able to do it with me. Okay, that is a non-directive play therapy session. Now let's talk about a directive play therapy session. Okay, so a directive play therapy session is goal oriented. I have a specific intervention which I'm planning to do with the child, and so I will choose toys and activities ahead of time. Okay, that is how I will conduct a directive play therapy session. So if I have a child and I know that the child is, say, struggling with, let's say, in an inclusive school, I have a child who's struggling with fitting in with the peers. So the special child is going to come to me, and I know that this is the issue which I'm going to work with. So my goal is to make the child understand how to behave with his peers. So I am already goal oriented. That is my goal. And my specific intervention is through play. How can I make the child understand that he has to work with his peers? So I might select toys, or I might even say a story about talking about a child or an animal or any other character, cartoon character, which has to fit in with the rest. Okay, so it is goal oriented. I have specific intervention planned. I might select particular toys. I might say that, okay, today we are going to cook something. I might take a cooking set, but I might say that we have to do it together. Sometimes you will have opinion, sometimes I will have opinion. Both of us have to share. Why am I selecting this? Because I have already selected earlier what I want to work on the child with. Okay, so the toys, the activities which I'm going to do with the child are already planned. Okay, this is how you do a directive play therapy session. And ideally, you will be supervising the child. So even if the child is like playing, if he's cooking, if you're going to do a cooking set activity and you want the child to learn about, say, following instructions from everybody. So you will be giving instructions to the child also in the middle. You will be participating and playing with the child. It is in the form of guided play. It's not about teacher student kind of a thing. You will be more in terms of a friend. You are playing together. You understand? That is how a directive play therapy session would work. Now, I'd also like to do, when you work with children with special needs, you need to do both. Okay, they say that there are different techniques which can be applied for a play therapy session. So you can actually use both for children with special needs. You can give them some time, give them the choice of activity, let them select what they are more comfortable with. This also helps you understand the children's interests, their needs, their abilities. So if you even just keep some paint and you see how the child is expressing themselves, how they are using the different items, the pegboard, the thing, you understand their level, their developmental stage of play. Also, you will be able to easily understand. So that is why non-directive play is also very, very important for children with special needs. And then when you select a goal, sometimes you can do directive play therapy and help the children in a particular situation. But it's also important in between to give them non-directive play options also. That's it. Okay. Okay. Now, how long does a play therapy session last? See, generally in play therapy, we say that we should not force the child, allow the child to play for however much time the child really wants to play. However, this differs from child to child, right? If we find a child with ADHD or a child with low attention span, he might not really want to sit and play for a really long time. Maybe he just plays for a few minutes and that is okay. In a play therapy session, that is all right. But however, if you are going to actually do play therapy as a session and you're going to charge parents, I would not say let the child sit for 1 hour or 2 hours of play therapy. Maybe a half an hour to 40-minute session would be ideal, because in that environment you can create a safe environment for the child and you will be able to have a little bit of goal directed therapy and also non-directive, where the child can select what they want. Okay. Um, Generally, in a non-directive play setting, what happens is you will be observing the child. Okay, so when you observe the child, you will make note of what sort of toys the child likes, what type of interaction the child does, how the child plays with each activity. So both things are very, very important. Okay, and also you will notice that as the child keeps coming to you, your relationship with the child will be developing. So the child will start trusting you more and he will start slowly coming to you and want to play with you. So there will be specific play activity and you will also understand what sort of issues you want to work with the child. Okay. So now most commonly people ask now, okay, I'm going to do play therapy. So what kind of toys do I need for my child? Okay, what sort of toys? So most common toys which we use in a play therapy room would say like we will have art, we will have sensory games. Okay, so sensory games can include art, clay, slime. You have sand. You have other things like building blocks. Those are now that is now sensory play is one thing. Then you talk about projective play or toy play. So when we talk about toy play, you say like things like building blocks. You can say like cooking set, tea party. You'll have dolls, of course. You have board games. You have cars. You have Lego. Okay, so all this comes as other kind of projective toys which you can use for a session. But then also there are many games which you can play which you really don't even need toys. Okay, you can play like a simple hide and seek. You can say just catch my finger. There are so many games which you can play with children which you don't even need toys. So it depends on you how you plan your session, how you work with your child, what works best with your child. All right. So that is about that. Now we'll go a little bit into home-based play therapy. So play therapy can happen both at home and also at the school. So there may be some of you here who are parents and want to know how can I do it at home. So yes, you need support from a therapist or a person who is trained in play therapy to help you. And if you are a professional, if you are a therapist looking to provide home-based services for families, there are certain things which you should know when you work with a family. All right. One thing is to know about the child's development. In terms of development, I mean developmental milestones. What are the areas like we may have children, let's say, who have epilepsy, who are not very active for playing at a certain time of the day. So these kind of things is important, even if they have any physical issues. So what sort of play activities you suggest for the child is very important for you to know that as you work with the family. Um, Meeting some people. All right. So then, also when you suggest play, you have to understand also what is the challenge faced by the family. Okay, so you cannot say, let's teach your child to play this game, which the family finds it really hard to do. So you have to understand what are the challenges of the family also, and only then you will be able to set up a proper goal or a plan for the children for home-based intervention because they are going to play at home. So the material that they need, the playroom, where it is going to be, the structure, who is going to play with the child, all this also you have to understand. So sometimes you have to understand that some parents are not comfortable playing. If you tell that parent, will you be okay with playing with a doll? Why don't you act like cooking set? It doesn't happen. Some parents don't feel comfortable, but they want their child to play, but they don't feel comfortable doing it themselves. So you have to be able to give them some other options so that they are able to play in their child with their child in a way which is suitable for both the child and the parent. So now when you set a goal, you have to set the goal which is unique to the family as well as the child. Okay, so understand their needs, their culture, their psychological availability. All these things are mentioned in the slide so that you are able to help the family better. Okay, it is very unique. So, like when we say culture, also there may be certain families which play in a certain way. Another family would feel it is inappropriate. Even say playing with dolls, dressing a Barbie doll. Some families don't feel comfortable doing that. But some of them would say, okay, that is fine. If we say feeding a dog or activities like we say, let's make the dog drink water from the bowl. Some families are not okay with that because they don't encourage that sort of play. So understand what the family's strengths are and work around those strengths because that will really help them as a family and it will also help the child to learn in an appropriate way. Okay, so intervention is generally psychotherapeutic in nature when we talk about play-based therapy. And when we talk about care coordination, we should understand that when we work with families, very often we say that one parent is involved. It is maybe the mother or the father. It is very difficult to do that in that setting. So when it is play, try to engage more people in the family so that everybody takes a turn and plays with the child, and so that they all benefit from the session. And of course, service plan for records means you have to do record keeping. So every day, what the child has done, how they have played, how they've responded to a certain way of play. All these things have to be noted and you have to work with the family and teach them and show them how this can be done so that through the sessions you see the gradual improvement. You understand where the areas of concern are and how you can go forward with that. All right. Now we talk a little bit about school-based play therapy. Okay, so generally, if some of you are teachers working in schools and you are thinking about a play therapy setup in your school, how does this work? Who is in charge? It may be a counselor, a school counselor, or even a therapist. And play therapy can work in schools individually and even in groups. Okay, it can be directive, it can be non-directive, like we just now discussed. And it is not just about the emotional and social well-being, mental well-being of children, but there are many other issues like we discussed with the advantages of play and play therapy, which can be looked into if you go for a school-based play therapy program. Okay, especially now when children are coming back to schools because of COVID, many kids have been at home. There's a lot of separation anxiety that children are facing. They're not very comfortable to come back to school. Some of them don't know how to express themselves in these situations. So play is actually very beneficial and it will help children settle down in a new environment, help them accept what is happening around them, help them problem solve and think and understand how to behave in different situations. So if some of you are considering, please look at it. It will really, really help many, many children now today. With play therapy, report writing is also very, very important. Just like any other form of therapy, when you set a goal, you work and see how far you have come across. However, in play sometimes we set some goals and you find that the child is achieving something else. So, like, let me say, I was trying to teach a child about a dog. So I would take a toy dog to the session and I'm just trying to teach the child to understand that this is a dog is a domestic animal and so on and so forth. But what happened was the child started learning counting because the child would count the legs of the dog every time during the play therapy session. So sometimes you may be having a goal and as you keep records for your session, you will see that how the child is actually learning something else also along the way. So play, though you will be goal directed, you will find a lot of other areas of development also in the child through play therapy session. Okay, so that brings us to the end of today's session. I'd also like to tell you all, like, follow, subscribe to our channel on YouTube. We are also on Instagram and Facebook as funlearners.india. Our website is funlearning.co.in. If you have any comments or suggestions, please feel free to email us at funlearners.india@gmail.com.